G'day, mate. Welcome back to Factorio with me, Jenny. We're on episode 96½, which is week 16, which is, if there's 4 weeks to a month, that would be 4 months? 4 months this series already? Wow. Okay, so, being a weekly recap episode, we need to cover what's happened during the week. So, we're going to run the intro. Okay, with that out of the way, that's been one of the changes. The changes that happened this week is I've started running the intro first. Well, I've started running the intro after I explain what we're going to do this episode. As I said, this being a recap episode, we're covering what's happened in the week. So, let me see. This week was all about fixing some of my mistakes. Now, I do want to have a couple of caveats in here because it's been an interesting week. I actually haven't had any internet at home. Which is weird and frustrating. Basically, my ISP made a monumental boo-boo, so even though I've had time, because it's been the school holidays, to get some side projects done, most of them, in fact all of them pretty much require an internet connection, which hasn't helped. So yeah, it's also meant that this week I've had to make sure I'm definitely ahead, because I can't just go, oh, look, I can, record and render and then upload and then we're good. I have to make sure I can call a mate up and say, you're free, you're home. Can I bring over a laptop and leave it at your place for a couple of hours so I can upload for the next, 3 to 6 to 9 hours worth of files? So, yeah. Like I said, it's been an interesting week. But all that aside, that's been one of the big changes this week. Hopefully by the time this episode is out, I should have internet back. At least that's what my ISP has promised me, and it hasn't happened yet because between recording and rendering and uploading and everything else, it hasn't got that far yet. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, with that said, what's happened this week? So this week, because I'd spent a lot of time previously being able to get a chance to actually go through the comments, I've had a chance to catch up and fix some of JD's mistakes. So going through the list, a lot of you guys commented when I built our first lovely speed module production. A lot of you guys commented and complained that I only put beacons on one side and told me I could have shoved beacons in here using undergrounds and all sorts of different tricks and all sorts of different things, and I could have and I should have and I didn't. Why didn't I? Couple of reasons. Main reason being I couldn't be bothered, and second reason being I couldn't be bothered. So I could have put beacons on the other side, and a lot of you guys suggested I come back and put beacons on the other side, but it meant I'd have to redo all this maths to get the correct ratio for having beacons on both sides of the build, and obviously having the assemblers run a whole lot faster. So one of the things we did do up here, and this was where the main complaint came in, is I had 2 straight rows and I wasn't showing the beacons. So we fixed that. We fixed that by taking the 2 original speed module builds and putting a productivity module on the build on the other side of the beacons, which meant that obviously this was ratioed out to run 2 of these builds. So all of that got ratioed into one build with shared beacons, and then I duplicated it because why not? But it has meant that the base has been a little bit behind. As you can see, there's still like a few hundred speed modules and productivity modules to go down. In saying that, as you can see, this is already backed up in some sections and is already basically running at full speed. It actually needs a treatment of the... Let's not run that one. Let's fix it first. It actually needs another 900 speed modules put in the build, because I've upgraded the beacons to run with tier 6 speed modules, but not the assemblers. The assemblers have been running on speed 3s. So yeah, we're still like a few thousand, well, 1,500 was 1,500 modules between friends. Yeah, we're still 1,500 modules short on having this build up and running. So that was one of the big changes that happened this week. On top of that, we had problems with not enough protection fields because we weren't making enough shields. So that was another change this week. I took this build and I doubled it. which meant there was a little bit spaghetti involved to try and get enough steel and red circuits into these builds to then add another build on the end. So now we're producing more than enough protection shields, which means it's up and running at full speed. Same time, we finally had this being fed fast enough that we had a decent amount of fusion reactors built up, but it meant that potentially the assembly machine could be running faster because we actually had some leftovers. So I did the logical thing and added beacons to the problem as well. As you can see, these are still running speed 3s. I haven't been upgraded to speed 6s yet, mainly because I can't feed it. All these blue circuit machines are all running. They're all running at full speed, and yeah, we don't have the spare. Another thing that happened this week is, even though I could double this build and I stole the excess acid, we did some shenanigans down here to get a little bit more acid out of this machine. Basically had to hook a second pump directly into the machine because one pump doing 2,500 water per second was not nearly enough, so we needed 2 pumps. And with that, I managed to use tanks and pumps to drag the acid halfway across the map to run this blue circuits. But it did mean that we needed to come down here and we needed to get more plastic, because even though I kicked this plastic into high gear and added beacons, added modules, reworked the belts, did everything I possibly could, it still wasn't enough. So we ended up coming down here and grabbing this oil and running the longest twin plastic belts ever right the way across the map and into, finally, this red circuit build. In hindsight, maybe I could have reconfigured this to put red circuits down here, blue circuits up there, but it just meant I would have had a longer acid pipe anyway. Like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. It was one of those, you're screwed no matter what. I don't know if this oil was closer or that oil was closer, but that oil didn't really have a coal anywhere near it, whereas this was reasonably close, so we went with this one. The other things that happened this week, we have pushed our rocket solars faster and faster and faster. We actually have a significant problem with they keep falling out of sync, and we're probably going to see that any second. Yeah, this one's miles ahead of all the others. So we're hoping next week to reconfigure, or at least I'm hoping next week to reconfigure our rocket system to hopefully bring it in sync by adding some smarts, not Jetty quality smarts. Somebody else did the smarts. Hopefully they work a lot better than what I come up with. We also reconfigured plastic. Plastic was one of the things which was a little bit lackluster last week. We changed all these over to compressed plastic, which turns out we have more than enough petroleum to feed, and it meant reconfiguring all our coal belts from all the way down here, which is starting to get a little bit low. Yeah, that coal patch is disappearing. Doing better than stone patch. Yeah, so we reconfigured those and upgraded those. At the same time, we also upgraded titanium. Titanium we did have a problem with during the week where we just didn't have enough. It was actually slowing down our solar panel construction, which is over here. Solar panels, accumulators, solar panels. Solar panels didn't have enough titanium. Oh, it turns out accumulators need titanium eventually. Yeah, so we upgraded that build as well. Turns out we're only running like a blue belt into titanium processing. We changed that up to purple. Haven't put productivity modules in this yet. I don't know if I actually have to or not. But we definitely productivity moduled the hell out of these, and now we have 2 belts going very, 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 very fast. And potentially putting out 2 purple belts worth of titanium. Actually, there's no need for that to be there. We could just have 2 belts going straight through. Yeah, so we upgraded that, have more than enough titanium. What else did we do this week? Trying to think. Oh, we went and did a little bit of social distancing. We went and had a chat to some of the biters that were existing on the map and basically removed them. I think that one might exist still, but a lot of the ones in here were all spoken to. A lot of the ones out here were spoken to. The ones were giving us problems with our train tracks. In saying that, we still have rabid biters coming through and leave the power pole alone. Leave the power pole alone. Yeah, they left the power pole alone. Rabid biters coming through and causing all sorts of hassles. Our lasers still do a wonderful job of dealing with them. I haven't turned off the biters yet, but I'm definitely considering it. The other things we had is we did start running out of low density structures. We had actually come up to this build and upgrade it to speed module 6s, which meant that we put a lot of drain on our copper and our steel. Our steel did get a little bit of an upgrade here and there. It has speed module 6s, yes, but hasn't been able to be visited with prob module 6s yet because I just don't have them. And as for the copper build up here, it's not touched. It really needs... It really needs to be upgraded to run both these builds at full speed. On top of that, we're probably still short. We probably need to build even more. We also upgraded our low-density structures. Low-density structures. Rocket control units. Because, actually, we can look at it right now. We can see that this is unloading, and basically as soon as it's unloaded, everything's disappeared already. In fact, if we go to... this train station, it also unloads that. Yeah, there's only 60 left in stock here, and 0 for low density structures. We just had another train show up. This train's already left, and we can see that there's 83 and 500. There's 2 rockets launches sitting in that box before basically everything hits the fan. We're all out again. Come on, train, where are you? About to load in the station. So I did come down here and I did have a small oversight and line these up with belts that don't exist. Those can be deconstructed. The trash robots can deal with them. Yeah, the trash system is a little bit overloaded because I did run through whilst I was doing a little bit of social distancing with biters and proceed to deconstruct every tree I could possibly find because I don't like trees on the map. That and all the trees are pretty much dead at this point. So, yeah, we did deconstruct a tree or 2. And... does that substation do anything important? No. And that too, it seems. So yeah, we did deconstruct a few things, which means our poor little trash train is doing a very good job of bringing back thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. In saying that, we also upgraded a few things, actually. We upgraded our tree burning system. As you can see down here, I have a substation, which is, if you look at the blue highlighting, is powering both these roboports plus this roboport, and more importantly, it's also powering all these inserters. But it's not powering this radar or this roboport. If we look at the wooden power poles, we can see that this far left one is technically powering these inserters, but if we click on the power network, we can see these inserters are using 0 watts because it's actually drawing off this system. But it is charging, or is powering, 1 radar and 1 roboport. This radar and this roboport is pulling all its power off our lovely little steam engines here, which is making sure we're burning wood as fast as possible. Can I turn you guys off for just a second? Cool, let's remove a splitter because we can. Yeah, so this little system is burning off wood basically as fast as possible. In saying that, I have 86,000 wood in stock and counting, but trust me, if you've played Factorio for long enough, you know that that's not going to last long. This system will burn it off. Might be an hour, might be 5 hours, it really doesn't matter, it'll disappear. The other thing we did was we also upgraded our concrete production. Our concrete production, turns out, was just running short because none of the inserters ran fast enough. So it got a small upgrade with a couple more beacons to keep it, running along, ticking along nicely. Speaking of beacons, that one. Because it can. So it got an upgrade running bigger and better beacons along with bigger and better inserters, and we have been spending a significant time over this week just concreting sections of the base. Like so. I want a roboport. Right about there. Yeah, so we have been concreting significant parts of the base. We actually put in a whole new path running down here because I just happened to be running that way at the time. So I decided, oh, what the hell, let's concrete it whilst we're here. We've also been concreting along the top. In fact, one of the major complaints, which we might actually go do something about right now. One of the major complaints people had, if we turn you on, that turns it off. Yes, that still doesn't make sense to me. Nope, they're all gone. We'll run you for just a minute. One of the complaints that we had, that you guys had down in the comment section, was I was being rude, and all my lovely supporters, I was just dumping their name down on the concrete, which you're entirely right. I was not taking my due diligence and taking care of my supporters. So we actually upgraded their little area. We put a little design around them. We gave them a little bit of a bling upgrade, and I want not those. I want those, and I want to put Lion's name in here and thank him so much for being a supporter of the channel. Actually, an Amazon Prime supporter. So he was nice enough to give me some of. Why is there a gap? There we go. He was nice enough to give me some of Amazon's money. Why are you not launching? Am I short of thruster? I'm be super disappointed if I'm short of thruster. I didn't turn it off, which was a mistake. But we're going to ignore that mistake for just a second. Where are my thrusters? Supporter thruster. Oh, you need speed module 6s. Yeah, about that. About that. Yeah, we've had a few problems this week with shortages. Shortages of basic things. Well, basic things like module 6s. We actually had... Hang on. Can I copy enough concrete that I can actually get this to work? Yes. Maybe. I'm going to have to do it from map view. Sure. We actually had our little system that could, no longer could, and we ran out of speed module 6s. Where are we? Over here. Which is still continuing to be a problem. I can't get this to work in a way that I'm happy. I want you to make those 10. Enable if that is greater than 10. Enable if that is less than 10. Okay, maybe that'll work. Yeah, I just can't get enough basic speed modules currently. It's been a lifelong series long issue. That in there. Okay, with that said, let's pull another name off the list. Thank you. Got my name. I'm all good. Ready to go. I'd feel bad if I put in the name before putting it in the launch list. There we go. We have Sweet Orange Buddy, who again is another Amazon Prime supporter. It's NNY. Yeah, you just decided to stop updating. Did you? Yeah. Can I have a Y, please? Y. Cool. Sweet Orange Bunny and Lions are both actually Amazon Prime supporters. They obviously have Amazon Prime for the joys of fast delivery, cheaper delivery, or maybe they just like the TV service and have both chosen to subscribe to the channel, which definitely helps out the channel, and more importantly gives me some of Amazon's lovely money that they don't really need the money, hence why they're giving it away to me. So what else happened this week? We covered social distancing, we covered rebuilding rebuilding shields. We covered upgrading our fusion reactors. We definitely have a good supply of fusion reactors now. I can't make this build go I can make this build go faster, but I can't feed it any faster, although every single belt is backed up. Oh, the whole build is backed up. And both chests are full. Excellent. We did cover this. We did cover that solar keeps getting put down and upgraded, but even then, if we click on the 1 hour, that'll do. Actually, let's click on 10 hours. We can see we did get to a stage where we'd killed off the steam turbines and weren't using them at all, but then as I keep putting down more and more beacons and larger builds, we're back to using nuclear power reasonably significantly. These guys are using 250 water per second. So yeah, we're definitely back up and running on nuclear power significantly, which means I can't retire it just yet either. What else do I have to cover? Social distancing. Sorry, it's like 2 a.m. my time. Because yes, it's also school holidays of all times, which means, yeah, I'm definitely wide awake. Oh, that was the last thing I had to cover, mainly because it'll probably come out in a channel update video, but I'm going to put it in here as well, because like I said, with no internet home, channel update videos they're a little bit awkward to make. So one of the things with this series is so far, all the way up until now, I've been saying every single person's name as they've been launched, or in the episode they've been launched, whatever it happens to be. I want your opinion. I'm thinking by episode 100, I'm going to move over to whatever the new format is. It's probably going to mean I'm going to stop saying names. Now, I have no issue potentially releasing a separate video at either a separate video, an unlisted video. You'll find the link in the description, either on a per episode basis or a once a week basis, where I just go through and read everybody's names, because I like that feature. That feature. I like that part of the series, but I also know that it means every single episode I'm adding an extra 5 or 10 minutes to the episode, and especially with next week, with us trying to push launches faster, it means I'm going to have a lot more names to say. In saying that, I have 1,000 names launched out of a possible 6,000 subscribers. Last time I looked at the list, there was only about 2,500 names on the list. So we're maybe a bit over halfway, but then again, 1.0 was coming out, and there was a good chance there's going to be a whole bunch of subscribers with that. So that could lead me to a lot more names I have to say. So I'm putting it out there. It might end up being not physically in the episode, but as an unlisted video down in the description for me going through and murdering everybody's names. Because yeah, it's taking longer and longer to get through all the names. In saying that, I do need to start reading some names now. So we have William Simmons and Wit Scrolls, Nathan Benny, Duco Bosma, Rentlom, Craig Tech, Dennis Barbs, Kailai Chan, Koslil, Hoxer, I'm going to go with horror and you just can't spell, Chicken McNugget, okay? It's Mac, not Merc, so it avoids all copyrights. Puha Pan, Moz White, Gulra, Mick Chili Con Queens, At Kalahuba Chemba, yep. Mr. Robotic Warfare, Zing Han He, Bree Banyu Andre, Arkle, Lions, and then Sweet Orange Bunny, both, as said, wonderful supporters of the channel, both Twitch Prime subscribers. We have Fran Pintandai, Issa Chuck Chantuk, Cider Master, okay, Mo Branhad, West Frost, Tanlo Troth, Dan312041. Like, I see that. It's like, is that your password? Did you put your password in your username? Or Or is that your postcode, your zip code, I don't know, part of your phone number? That's always a possibility as well. Anyway, with all that said, this is where I'm going to end this episode. It has been 16 weeks so far, which is, what, 4 months? 4 months? 4 months of this series. And within a month, we have 1.0 coming out. So, yeah, I don't see myself getting this finished within a month. But, you know, maybe miracles do happen. I'd have to significantly scale up our launches, and I don't like leaving the game just running idle in the background because that feels a little bit cheaty. But, you know, Damien Willer is going to be the last launch of this episode. So thank you very much, everybody who's clicking that subscribe button. Everybody that has clicked the subscribe button. Even if you click subscribe anywhere through this series, you do get added to the list because it does get updated from time to time. It gets updated about every week or two. I do update the list and add in everybody's new names. But all that said, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. All right. Bye.